JBN, we keep you informed. One shot, another injured in Mannings Hill Road gun attack. A man was shot and killed and another left nursing gunshot wounds following a gun attack along the Mannings Hill Road in St. Andrew on Thursday night. The deceased has been identified by the Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, of the police force as 24-year-old Kimani Holness, otherwise called Kimmy, of a Mannings Hill Road address. Police report that about 8:55 p.m., both men were standing on the roadway in the vicinity of the Midway Mall when they were attacked and shot repeatedly. Holness died on the spot, but the other man was listed as being in critical condition after being taken to the hospital. The Midway Mall is close to the communities of Cassava Peace, Bonan Gully, and Upper Whitehall Avenue. The area has been relatively peaceful since a gun attack at 12 Whitehall Avenue in early December, when one man was killed and 5 others were injured. It is not clear whether the two incidents are linked, as police said investigations into Thursday night's shooting are in the early stages. Dengue deaths hit 81, but infections plunge. More than 81 Jamaicans have died in the worst dengue fever outbreak to have hit the island in a generation, but data provided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness show that incidents of the mosquito-borne disease appear to fall sharply over the last 2 months. There were 1,341 notifications of suspected, presumed, and confirmed cases of dengue recorded in October, but those numbers plunged to 833 in November and 294 in December. October's cases were the second greatest incidence last year, as 1,960 notifications were issued in January. All told, the ministry received 9,356 notifications of dengue between January 1, 2018 to December 31, 2019. Among those, 2,057 people were admitted to hospitals. The highest rate of suspected and confirmed dengue cases was among the 5 to 14-year-olds, followed by children aged 1 to 4. Addressing a post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House yesterday, Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton said that dengue hospital admissions cost the government of Jamaica an average of $213,362.94 per child. Of the 81 suspected or confirmed deaths of the last 2 years, 64 were recorded in the last 12 months. Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Catherine, Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, and St. Anne have been the worst affected parishes. Communities with the highest rates of incidence were Boroughbridge, Cane River, Farm Heights, Martha Brae, Rosehall, and Irving. Tufton said that the ministry would ramp up the number of vector control personnel from 1,000 to 1,400. Dengue mitigation exercises will climax between January 24 and 26. We have expanded the fogging program in high-risk communities across the island. We have engaged private contractors where necessary to do that, and we will roll out the 35 vehicles to deal with the additional support for fogging, said Tufton. Last year, 1.6 million premises were visited and 4.7 million containers inspected. Approximately 500,000 containers were treated for mosquito breeding. Witness sheds light on gang leadership structure and division of labor. One of the main witnesses in the Kings Valley gang trial described in court yesterday the leadership structure and the division of labor in the criminal enterprise. The witness is a former member of the Westmoreland-based gang. The number of alleged members in the gang has not been revealed. However, there are 8 men who are on trial in the Home Circuit Court in Kingston. They are on trial for various breaches of the anti-gang legislation in relation to crimes committed between 2016 and 2018. It's day 3 of the trial of the 8 men. They are Carlington Godfrey, Lindell Powell, Ronaldo McKennis, Derval Williams, Obton Stanley, Kristen Grant, Copeland Sankey, and Sean Sucre. On day 2, there were 9 accused, but one man, Ricky Hall, was freed on that day of all charges. Yesterday, the witness was being given evidence via video link from a remote location divulged more details about the operations of the gang he was once a part of. The court heard that one of the accused, Copeland Sankey, goes by the alias Tupac. The witness testified that Sankey was a hitman and financer of the gang. According to the witness, he has known Sankey since he was a child. He gave evidence that Sankey would purchase guns for gang members. The former gang member told the court he has never seen Sankey purchasing the weapons. However, he testified of recalling an occasion during which he accompanied Sankey and others to St. Elizabeth to purchase guns and bullets. He told the court that a member of the group told him after the trip that Sankey had purchased the weapons. The witness also said he has seen Sankey handing out the guns to the members of the gang. According to the witness, the guns range from .357 Magnums, Glocks, and Brownings, as well as Mac-10s. The witness admitted to illegally possessing a Browning that was given to him at the time. The eldest accused on trial is Sean Sukra. According to the witness, he goes by the alias Elder or 8-Ball. He told the court that Sukra was also a hitman. However, he admitted he has never seen Sukra kill anyone. The witness also testified that Sukra helped in the cultivation of marijuana for the drugs for guns trade. He told the court that Sukra and other members of the gang would plant ganja in the hills of Westmoreland. During reaping season, he says the illegal drugs would be compressed and sold for guns. He says the task to supply guns wasn't a one-man job. The witness also told the court that another member supplied guns, bullets, vests, and clothing similar to those worn by soldiers. According to the witness, the gang was financed by one of the accused through the proceeds of scamming and the sale of stolen items, to include bikes. The witness told the court that Christian Grant, otherwise called Ekroy, supplied members with money acquired through lottery scamming. The matter will continue this morning at 10 before presiding judge Chief Justice Brian Sykes. Gender violence, not a private matter, says Grange. Noting on Tuesday that 34 persons were murdered across Jamaica within the first 11 days of the year, Olivia Grange, the minister with portfolio responsibility for gender affairs, said that among the victims are some of the country's most productive women and girls who are the backbone of the society. Grange, speaking in Parliament, said she was joining the multitude of well-thinking Jamaicans condemning and speaking out against the recent brutal attacks of violence against women. Gender-based violence, the minister said, can be perpetrated in many forms, such as psychological, physical, sexual, and economic. It is a reflection of the culture of violence and the silence, and is reinforced by various structures and systematic inequalities in the home, in socioeconomic systems, and the systems of justice, she told members of the House of Representatives. Grange noted that she wanted to assure the public that the government has continued to pursue legislative solutions for enhanced security measures, and added that it would intensify the No Excuse for Abuse public education campaign to ensure that the scourge of gender-based violence is treated with urgent attention and strong operational measures. I want to appeal to persons involved in situations of conflict to seek the necessary counseling and psychosocial support. Too often, these situations result in acts of violence and are often life-threatening and rob our families of hard-working and productive community members, Grange said. Since New Year's Eve, there have been 3 reported prominent cases of domestic violence resulting in death. In the first instance, an apparent lover's quarrel in Mandeville, Manchester, led to the shooting death of 24-year-old Chantel White. Then on January 12, a Jamaica Defence Force soldier, identified as 33-year-old Dorwell Mackenzie, murdered his common-law wife, Soneasy, before killing himself. Hours later that Sunday, in Brinkley District, St. Elizabeth, 27-year-old Navia Sinclair was murdered in her sleep by her estranged boyfriend. Grange said gender-based violence is not a private matter, but a crime that is everybody's business. If you see it, feel it, or know of it, report it. Let us stand and talk, because there is no excuse for abuse, she said. Her call for action was supported by the opposition spokesperson on gender affairs, Denise Daly, who said she welcomed the minister's statement but wanted to see the administration speed up the revised legislation to address the issue. Promoters of East Kingston Bike Show, where 4 persons were shot, charged. The promoters, who have been linked to the bike show, where 4 persons were shot and injured during a blazing gun battle between criminals in Rockforth, East Kingston late last year, are to appear in court on Friday. The police said the men, identified as Jordan Nelson, Kemp Nelson, and Andre Palmer, all of East Kingston addresses, were taken into custody and charged for breaches of the Noise Abatement Act. Reports are that they were held on December 31, 2019. They are expected to appear in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. The police said charges were laid against the organizers of the event, who had applied for a permit to host the show and were denied by law enforcement officials. but still went ahead and hosted the event. Reports are that about 2:15 a.m. on December 27, a number of persons were at the bike show at the intersection of Warwicker and Diagolo Roads when rival gangs clashed and began shooting at each other. The patrons were sent scampering for cover as the gunshots rang out. At the end of the shooting, 4 persons were found injured and were subsequently admitted to hospital for medical treatment. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.